There we go. Ooh, oh. Love, light, and peace. Okay. So the camera is here. My laptop here. Okay. And let's see how the sound. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Bring this closer. Turn it up a little bit. A little bit. I never got to use the echo. Can y'all hear the echo? Okay. Let me stop playing. Okay. Love, light, and peace. Well, I guess should I? Love, light, and peace. I was sitting here and I was doing a reading. Um, I thought I was doing it for myself. Well, I did. The heck? The first portion, it was for me. However, I pulled out a second deck. Spirit wanted me to read from another deck, and it's actually a couple more decks out here as well. And it quickly resonated that this was for others as well. So I am going to read what I received. This is the Divine Nature deck. I actually really enjoy this deck. It's just the frequency of it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So the first card that came out is number 6, Rewild Your Life. And it reads, oh, let me show you the card. See it? Okay. The wild isn't just a place out there. It is also a place in here. You are related to elk and deer, butterfly and hummingbird, bison, gazelle, and tiger. The mountains live in your bones, the rivers in your veins. Wildflowers grow along the chambers of your heart. You weren't born to pay bills and die, distracting yourself with the secondary satisfactions of house and car and happy hour. The time has come to unplug from your current matrix and rewind your life. Your mind is a savanna teeming with running wild beasts. Your heart is an ocean full of mighty whales and splendid dolphins. Your soul is a forest full of stories. The moon whispers late at night. Indulge your own nature and rewild your life. This resonates so profoundly because one, I got an Earth Day coming up next week, and that resonates because at a certain point in adulthood, it's like it's almost like a marker in time or something sets in to where you accept, right, and you don't look beyond going to work. What it said, working. Oh, right, going to work, buying some physical pleasures, whether you want to be a homeowner or own a condo or you want to rent. You buy a car, you might take a trip, and you go to happy hour, right? Like happy hour is the time where you wind down. Excuse me, you can find several like girlfriend groups at happy hours. You can find like, professionals that just got off of work to unwind from the day. And it could be any given day of the week. Like happy hour happens Monday through Friday. That's all of the traditional work week, right? And it just dawned on me like it's called happy hour because it's the hour that you are pursuing happiness. Like you're happy that this is the hour after getting off of work. So the system is designed in such a way to cause us to feel comfortable in that reality as though that is the only reality that exists and we don't have a choice. When in reality, the rewilding your life is taking control over your reality and determining what you will and will not live out. Like you don't have to be somebody that accepts, working 5 days a week or working 9 to 5 and having the only out or balance as happy hour. Now, this is not a knock on anyone that does. It's all about what resonates with your spirit. So if it resonates in your spirit and it brings you happiness and joy, by all means, do you boo boo. Okay. However, if you're someone that it doesn't resonate in your spirit, then this is a sign to reclaim your power and know that you can rewild your life. The next card is number 14, Embrace Enthusiasm. So let me turn to the page first. All right. Maybe I should turn on maybe this light. Does that help any? Let's see. Embrace enthusiasm. Let's see. Yeah, I think it helped a little. Yeah, it did. It's not as dark. Okay. All right. So embrace. Turn the microphone around. Embrace enthusiasm. The number of graces varied in different legends, but usually there were three. Bear with me. Ag Aglaya, I'll just say Aglaya. Brightness, Euphorcine, joyfulness, and Tylea, bloom. They are visiting you today. Let your heart revel in the sharing of its bright hope. Let your joyfulness dance along the spine of this moment and bloom. Bloom like you mean it, with wild abandon. Most people are breathing only a little and calling it a life. Let the three graces expand your lungs and life with song. Follow their enthusiasm as well as your bliss. Enthusiasm literally means to be indwelled by God, the sacred source of all life. Now is the time to unleash it and taste the sweet fruits of this wild grace. I'm loving the continuum of wild, because I think you have to have a spirit of wild, right? In order to embark upon a journey of self-discovery, right? To break away from the traditional formats, foundations that have been presented and given as though there are no other options. However, the reality is, again, that we are in control of our reality. Does that mean that there is no most high, there is no God? Most certainly there is. Like, none of this would exist without the most high, whomever and however you identify that ultimate source, right? However, we are an extension of that power, right? Like, we are children of the most high. We are replicas of the most high. We are fractions of the most high. So if the not if. I'm going to say if, but it's really because, since it is that the Most High is the creator of all, right? The creator of this foundation that we look at and see in the physical realm, and many of us experience in the spiritual realm, then it is only within a logical mind that one would be able to clearly see that that same power extends to us. So it would be intelligent to explore that we have the same creative abilities. Are we able at this level to create whole universes, like the Most High did? Perhaps not, right? Or perhaps we can. However, at this juncture, it is unable to be proven. So let's go with perhaps not. However, we are able to create, excuse me, excuse me, we are able to create within the realms that we have direct connection to all the time, which is the physical. And anything in the physical realm is only a there present because of a result of something in the spiritual. Everything in the physical started as a thought. So because we can alter and change and create in the physical realm, then that mean that we have the ability to do it in the spiritual, in our thoughts. It starts in our thoughts. I'll say it starts in our thoughts. So embrace the enthusiasm, right? The excitement, that regardless of what it is that you're going through when you find this message, or when this message finds you, whichever one. Excuse me. And I left my tea downstairs, and I don't think I have any water up here. I think I might have one on the bedside table. However, we'll see. Um, be enthusiastic that regardless of what it is that you're currently experiencing, there's an opportunity to change it. And one of the thoughts that came to my mind as well while I was reading that is the idea of answering for what our hands have done, answering for the decisions that we made during our time here on earth. There's going to come a time no matter what it is that you believe, unless you're an atheist and you don't believe that there is any force greater than us that is to be answered to, there's going to come a time where the spirit is going to return to the creator. And we're going to have to account for what it is that we did during our time here on earth. And I just was reading about the idea that, one perspective is that um, we're going to have to put all of our good deeds on the scale and all of our not so good deeds on the scale. And then we're going to have to, explain or have a conversation, about the outweighing, right? Like if our not so good outweighs the good, we're going to have to answer for that. And that came to my mind because, let me see, what is it that sparked that thought? Oh, oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. So I was connecting it because it said, let your joyfulness dance along the spine of this moment and bloom. Bloom like you mean it with wild abandon. Most people are breathing only a little and calling it a life. And the idea is that we get to choose, right? Like we get to choose. So choose the things that light you up. Choose the things that's going to magnify and amplify life, that's going to raise the frequency and the vibration. And in living a life in that manner automatically causes books to be put on the positive scale, on the good side. And even when you do things that affect people, or it wasn't the best decision, because it's all in the spirit of learning and growing and evolving and blooming, then it doesn't count against you. Is it still on the scale? Yes. However, is it as heavy as someone willingly, consciously, being villainous, or being a rascal? No, it doesn't have the same weight. It doesn't have the same levity, because our thoughts count. Like, they say mere thought counts for nothing until carried into action. And I have a different perspective of that the more that I grow and evolve into being who I am. However, for the sake of this conversation, um, if you have a thought, and it was from the right base, a positive base, and you go into motion with it, and it doesn't work out as planned, or some people may have been affected, or you may have affected yourself, because it started with a thought that was of righteousness, that was from your heart space to grow, evolve, and be better. Then yes, it's gonna find its way eventually on the positive side, because of the base, the foundation in which you started from. Willfully that resonates. Willfully that connects. I'm going to be free and share what comes to my spirit, if you haven't already realized. Um, and I know that it's gonna reach who it's supposed to. It's gonna resonate and hit who it's supposed to, because it's coming to me for a reason. It's coming to me for somebody. So I'm gonna be um, obedient, and I'm gonna surrender, and I'm gonna share it. And again, I didn't even do a proper intro for this video. I just jumped right into it. However, this is a message, a universal, timeless message for many that are at several destinations or several spots, places on their journey. So only take what resonates with you, right? The whole message doesn't have to resonate. Spirit could bring you here for the last thing that is expressed in the video, right? All the rest of it before, just seen 333 on the clock. Um, Everything before that could have been for somebody else. So receive, accept what resonates for you, and leave the rest for who it does resonate for. Okay. All right. So the next card is Honor the Ending, card number 38. The Japanese word akiru means to pierce, to begin, to end. The Ankh, ancient symbol from the Egyptians, seems a perfect companion for this concept, as it was used as a sign of both beginnings and endings. Over and over, we are reminded that endings contain beginnings inside them, and the piercing of grief creates a sacred opening in our psyche where new life may pass through. We need to mourn our endings and give the heart the space to process loss. but be careful not to tread too closely to despair, for the ending carries new life inside it, and despair keeps us from seeing it clearly. This is resonating with me. Excuse me, because you may find this message at a time where things may feel like they're falling apart. You may be experiencing several endings. You may be longing for new beginnings. Um, and some of us have developed a defense mechanism of burying the emotions or the feelings that are associated with the ending, right? And what I've grown to learn through my experience is that each ending deserves to be honored in whatever way resonates with you, right? Those emotions is energy, and though that energy needs to be directed somewhere. So when we choose to bury it, file it away, choose that route that says, I don't have time for this, I don't have space, for a breakdown right now. That energy has to go somewhere, and it's usually stored somewhere in our body, somewhere in the material, for a later time. Like, it may not show itself right away. Usually it takes time, but however, it also depends on your material. If you have weak spots already in your physical body due to the lack of not caring for yourself, due to the lack of self-love and nurturing of our material, then it may show itself sooner. However, um, it's important to allow the energy to be released, because otherwise we're doing more harm to ourselves than good. Excuse me. And even if it doesn't show up in a physical ailment, it's still in the body. So that frequency, that vibration is still present in our energetic body. So it's radiating from our aura. So that means that others that also vibrate at that same frequency will gravitate towards us. We will gravitate towards them. So you may be wanting a change, right? You may be wanting new beginnings. However, because of the frequency that you're at, because of unresolved, unaddressed, unreleased emotions, then we find ourselves in a catch-22 where we're repeating the cycle. So if you are finding yourself coming across this video at a time where you are experiencing endings, check to see if you are resistant to those endings, or are you in surrendering to those endings and embracing all of what comes with that, all of the feelings, all of the emotions. So it could be a range of sadness, of hurt, of pain, of devastation, of anger, of rage, right? I'm not saying hurt nobody. I'm not saying break nothing. However, if you feel like you need to go to I forgot what they call. It's not in my head. I'm saying a rage room. It's not a rage room. However, it may be a rage room. Maybe I'm remembering correctly. I don't know. However, it's a space where you can go and break things. I would even do axe throwing. Do paint splatter. Like, do things that will allow for you to get the energy up out of you if it is rage and anger and you feel like you want to hurt someone or punch a hole in the wall. Do it constructively, right? However, if it's something as simple as like, and this is not even simple, so I don't say it to like minimize it, because depending on your programming, it may not be simple, it may not be easy. However, if it is that you require a cry, right? I know for myself, crying, there was a time where if I ever felt like I needed to cry, I would get myself together so damn quick, because to me, crying was a sign of weakness. And especially if you cried in front of other people, like, they saw you as a mark and they would try to like utilize your vulnerability against you. And I learned in real time, being vulnerable, that people will take advantage. People will use and abuse you for their own benefit. And then it was also an aspect, as I continue to grew and evolve, that I didn't have time for that, right? Like life depended on me moving forward. And I felt like if I were to give into those feelings, I might not make it forward. Like, it might alter the rhythm of thought that I was in. So, I am encouraging you to use your own intuition, right? Because my intuition told me, girl, you better not stop right there at that pit stop and cry that thing out because you might not get back on the road. So, and I don't- and, that may or may not have been true. However, that is the route that I chose. And then when I got to a space where I could exhale, boy, when I exhaled, did those tears fall. Like it was a continuous flow of energy that had been buried and filed away for so long that needed to come out. So, in respect to the card number 38, honor the ending, I had to honor several endings, like several endings. And it was amazing because I thought that I thought I had honored endings, right? Like I thought I had completed the ending and was moving on, and I had to have compassion for myself and grace for myself to understand that there was layers to it. And yes, I did get to a certain point. However, there was still a couple more layers that needed attention before it would be complete. And then still have compassion for myself that if a memory comes up or, something, comes to the surface, that I don't start to beat myself up and judge myself that, oh, I thought you was over this. Why is this still a thing? Because I'm still human, right? And that's something I had to embrace too, that, being human means that you're going to have moments, right? Cuz things happen in cycles, right? So each cycle, it reminds me of like the washing machine, the cycle of the washing machine. Every cycle gets the clothes cleaner. So like you could do one cycle and then do the rinse and then spin, or you can do an extra like water cycle. So you could do the regular, and then you could do an additional one to make sure that it's clean, right? And then you go through the spin cycle, and then you go through then you go through the rinse cycle, then you go through the spin cycle, and by the time the clothes come out, they clean. So it's like the same principle that we go through in the energetic realm, um, particularly when it comes to removing and releasing things that we accumulated along our journey that no longer serve us. So again, honor your endings, right? Honor your endings, and allow yourself to feel and be present with whatever it is that you're experiencing that's ending, with the confidence and the knowing that a new beginning is coming, right? Like there's always an ending and then a new beginning, a new cycle starts, right? Just like the wash machine. Once that first, if you ever linger around your wash machine after the water stops, right? Then it starts, aggregating, right? And then it stops again. And then the water is released. Then it's a stop again. Then the water is filled up again. So it's like for every ending, there was a new beginning. So that same principle takes place in our lives. So, be excited. If you find this message during the time where you're going through some things, be excited, boo boo. Be excited that something new is coming, right? And because we've already established that we get to rewild our life, we get to create, we get to co-create with the Most High, elevate your thinking, explore the thoughts of, what do I want life to be like now? Like, okay, so this is ending. What do I want to bring in now? What do I want to experience? And co-create the reality that you want to experience, and be able to bear witness to your own power in the process. That's one of the gifts that I've found from the Most High, to show us our own power. Like these things are not happening to us because, we're a bad person. No, you may have done something bad, or, if we even want to say bad, you may have done something that requires you receive the reward, right? Because it's, everything is energy. So it's like a boomerang. You throw that bad boy out, it's going to come back. So the energy we put out is going to come back to us. So be conscious of the thoughts that you have, the energy that you put out, so that the energy that comes back, when it comes, you can identify it as being a reward of a higher vibration versus the reward that comes from energy that you put out of a lower vibration. So with that being said, the next card is card number 18. Hopefully you can see it. She looks very, very free. Very, very free. out there in nature. So that's card number 18, twirl. The secret to an enchanted life is to remember the playfulness at the heart of the divine child. That child never went anywhere. It lives in you as a magnetic force, deeply influencing every creative thought, relationship, project, or endeavor. If you want to breathe new life into your adult world of responsibilities and requirements, engage your play. Allow yourself to spontaneously skip down the grocery aisle or stand outside in a rainstorm. Talk to the trees, or better yet, listen to them. Follow the fireflies, and then go another step further and put play on the schedule. Prioritize it. Court the wonders of the natural world, and you will playfully come to understand yourself as one of them. Now, this resonates as so powerful because not only is spirit giving us a message of like how to conduct ourselves, how we should be thinking, how to position ourselves, how to view what's happening. Spirit is also giving us the key, right? So it's like that saying when it said, I need some meat with my potatoes. I need the meat and the potatoes. Okay. Spirit is saying tap into your inner child. And I find this to be very pivotal in the growth and in the healing process, because a lot of times we have wounds from our childhood that we don't even remember because we were little, right? And they had such huge impacts on us that we don't realize until we actually start the process of digging deep, right? Going back in those files, how certain things made us feel, how we had to go against our intuition, our divine nature, because of those that were responsible for us, imprinting their thoughts on us. So when spirit is saying, childlike play, right? It resurrects that innocence that's in us, that part of us that nobody was able to touch. That's the part of us that is us, always has been us, and is always going to be us. Now, we may not always show that side of ourselves, right? Or we may be selective in when we show that side of ourselves. However, the reality is that that part of us is always there. So when we do things that bring us joy, when we do things that make us laugh and light us up on the inside, that is us connecting with our inner child. And one of the key components to being able to have balance during this healing, because it gets heavy. Woo, child, it gets heavy. It gets heavy. Oh, it gets heavy. Remembering, right? And then having to unpeel the layers of the onion, like Shrek said, right? And really get to the essence of a thing. There's, like we just spoke about, there's many emotions, there's many thoughts that want to invade your conscious mind and want you to choose me, like choose me, choose me, choose me. But those are all program thoughts of the old you that got you to this point. To be the new you, you have to accept new thoughts. So you have to do the thing that's uncomfortable. You have to do the thing that seems strange and unfamiliar, and because this is an uncharted territory. And in the process of doing that, doing the things that make you happy, whether it be going for a walk, whether it be treating yourself to ice cream, whether it be jumping on the trampoline, whether it be, going to sit by the water, whether it be playing music, having a glass of wine, dancing in the house, whatever it is that resonates with you, you doing that brings the balance, right? It brings the balance, because it's not supposed to be where it's just sadness and heaviness and weight. No, like while you're healing, you're supposed to be integrating the new expression of who you are. And this is why card number 6, rewild your life, is so important, because you have to be able to see it, right? Like you have to be able to envision it. You have to decide what you want your life to look like. You have to decide what parts do not get to stay. Been there, done that. Don't want it. Don't want that subscription anymore. Cancel, right? And what do you want to bring in? What do you want the reality to look like? So if you position yourself like, if I could create my own life, what elements would I incorporate? What would it look like? And then start to incorporate those thoughts, right? And then in you incorporating those thoughts, start to see the vision, start to envision what that looks like for you, right? And in you doing that, you're incorporating your inner child automatically, because your inner child wants to experience the happiness and joy that he or she did not get to experience when he or she was under the authority of someone else. It's like your inner child gets to experience the reward of the adult you taking your power back. And when I tell you, that is such a invigorating, empowering, most necessary and needed experience to have, it's like you can literally rewrite the programming of what you experience to alter your future, because you no longer look at your past through a damsel in distress, as a victim mentality, right? And that is so pivotal in healing and in recreating or co-creating your reality. So most certainly, I love how spirit excuse me, gives us tangible, because I'm all about tangibility. Like, I never speak on something and not share something tangible that I've done, I've lived through, that caused this principle or idea to be a reality. So what I'm sharing right now, what spirit is bringing through, I've lived this and am still living this. Um, the importance of incorporating your inner child and healing your inner child and expressing the thoughts and feelings of your inner child and honoring that, right? We're at, many of us on this journey, if you find this video, it is possible that you're just starting, and for that I say congratulations. I am honored to be a part of your journey, to get you started to your destination, right? However, I is resonating that many are on the journey and have had many different experiences. And this is going to be very key in integrating, right? Connecting the dots. So again, I did say in the description box, if I can be of any support to you on your journey, be free to send an email. I have different services. I have different tools that's available. I am also open to having conversations that will help you navigate your situation. So it could be a consultation, it can be a actual session where we actually like strategize. First we break down what it is that's taking place. I present a different, higher perspective of what it is that's taking place, and whatever parts resonate with you at that time, then we can speak about integrating that into your reality so you can shift your mindset to a higher frequency. It's like turning the dial on a radio. I don't know how many of you all grew up in the era of, having to find the right frequency on the dial to tune into the radio station to be able to listen to the music or the radio news. However, I come from that era. So it's the same principle that is being done with us as individuals. And I'll be more than honored to be able to assist you and support you on your journey. So the next card is Reclaim Innocence. I love how all of this came together, like 333 on the clock again. And oh wow, and this is card 33. Look at Spirit doing the big one. So that's 333 on the clock, 33. So 333 or 3 or 33 might be a significant number for someone out there. It might be your confirmation. You may want to Google and see what is the spiritual meaning of angel number 333, or just the meaning of numerology number 3, whatever resonates with you. You might be a life path 3. You might want to look into the third house of your chart, of your natal chart, see what planets are in there, what activity is happening in your progress chart. However, 3 is significant. Many of us were spoon-fed the concept of original sin, but have never heard the story of original innocence. It goes like this: You were born from purity, a luminous soul created from a morsel of the divine housed in a human body. You always have this innocence at your core, no matter what or who happens to you. All you have to do to experience it again is to fall back into the wings of your own soul and let it carry you. There is no mistake, no error, no sin or wrong that cannot be submerged into source and remembered back to its original pure and magical state. Love dissolves all things unlike itself. So choose the loving eyes of a new parent and gaze at it with captivation and wonder. Now is the time to connect with the whole breathtaking soul you were born with. And that is so timely and like right in alignment, especially right after the twirl, connecting with your inner child. Um excuse me, and it goes right back to the rewilding your life, right? And having the enthusiasm and honoring the endings and embracing the beginnings and having that childlike glee and play and wonder and curiosity. It is so important to be curious, like this said, reclaim your innocence, be an observer, right? Observe the things that's happening, observe, your life, like almost like step outside of yourself and observe your journey, right? And remember the times before the situations happened. Remember how you were, how you thought, how you expressed yourself. And there you will find your innocence. And it's so amazing because again, like I said, like I'm living this. Like I'm not just speaking this. I'm not, just, up here for likes. I'm genuinely living this and I want to share what I'm experiencing to be able to assist others that's coming along on their journey as well. Because truth be told, it wasn't easy. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of tears. It was a lot of pain. It was a lot of hurt. It was a lonely journey. It was lonely. And I want to be a beacon of light for those who may be experiencing the same thing. I want to be I want to be the person that I needed. So if putting myself out there in the world, crying on camera, right? As the young people would say, looking all cringy, right? Not looking demure, okay? um, then I'm willing to do that because I know what it felt like to feel like I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have anybody that would understand. Um, so here I am, right? Here I am. And reclaiming your innocence is important. So I said all that to say, because the memory was coming up, that I remember after my divorce, I had a conscious thought to find who I am now, right? Who am I now and who will I be moving forward? And in order for me to discover that and it be genuine, I had to remember who I was, right? Because, when you're married, well, at least being married the way that I was, I released a lot of myself and I accepted and absorbed a lot of what my partner gave to me, whether it be his vision, his thinking, his plans, his goals, um, whether it be his biases, um, even in the way he viewed the spiritual, right? Um, However, I did draw a line there, though. I will say that because I still maintained my own perspective, perception, experiences, and I just kept them to myself. Excuse me. However, that's besides the point. Um, I had to remember who I was before accepting that. I came from a world where when you got married and you were given the band, the man gave the ring because the band symbolized the circle of thinking of his that you would now be operating in. And there had to be a certain level of submission to release your own thinking, right? And accept his thinking. And I did that. And I think I did it quite well. I actually think I did it too good. However, um, I had to go back and I had to remember, how I thought, how I felt, the things that made me me. And in me doing that, I was able to release the things that I had picked up along the way that no longer served me. And then I got to decide if I still wanted to be that person, right? Like, what parts did I want to incorporate and what parts did I want to release? And in me doing that, it magnified my innocence. So yes, I think that there should be another video on innocence. So we'll see what spirit has in store for that. However, that thought just came to my mind. So I'm gonna share it willfully. We'll see how that unfolds. However, I'm gonna move on for that because we're already at 40 minutes. And although I do like the longer videos myself, but I know everybody does not. So this is the overall energy of the reading. It is card number 19, which breaks down to a 10, which then brings down to a 1. Engage your invisibles. Whether you believe in mythic creatures, guardian angels, or spirit guides, you do have forces moving on your behalf that are guarding and guiding your soul journey. If you are aware of them, now is the time to contact them, inquire, investigate, ask for their help. If you don't yet know who they are, suspend your disbelief. Call and conjure them in the quiet spaces. Compel them to come to your aid by confessing your belief in them. Unseen forces thrive on belief and expand in your presence. Whether in relaxation, prayer, meditation, dream work, or active imagination, invite them to engage with you. Ask for the support and assistance you need. Wow. Okay, so what's resonating for me, um, and definitely receive what resonates with you, right? No pressure here. Um, this sounds like the process that we need to be in, or the steps that need to be taken in order to connect to the divine, in order to connect to the unseen beings, whichever ones, whether you gravitate towards the mermaids, whether you gravitate towards the dragons or the angels or light beings or Atlanteans, whomever, right? You may be being called. Spirit is something else. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you. You may be being called. You may have been having some experiences that are new, that are unique, that you may find it challenging to speak to others about them because you're still trying to fathom and process what it is that's taking place. If you are at that place on your journey, I want you to know all is well. All is well. You are safe. You are protected. And you are divinely loved to be selected to be someone that the unseen realm connects with. Um, you are most certainly loved. And with that love comes protection. So, release any fear, release any feelings of you might be crazy, you losing your mind, you bugging, you tripping, release all of that. And again, be curious, you know, be an observer, um, refrain from placing judgment, be open, you know, be innocent, be enthusiastic, and honor any endings. um Operate from the curiosity of child like eyes, see things with rose colored glasses first and foremost, and rewild your life. And it's resonating that things are about to change for you. It's dropping in my spirit that your world is about to change, and it's going to be drastic. You could not predict it the way that it's going to happen. However, you've been having a feeling that something is coming, something is going to change, something is going to give, right? Um, so look for the signs, like the 333 that came up. Look for the signs, be attentive, and be open for the unseen connection, the signs from the unseen that's coming through for you, to help navigate you and guide you to this new beginning, that you've earned and that you deserve, right? You deserve this new beginning that's coming. 44:33 on the clock. Um, and I'm gonna, I really wanted to pull more cards, because I did pull out the Starseed Oracle and the secret language of light. However, I don't know if you all like the long videos or not. So I'll wait for feedback from you all, to know if I do the long videos, if you're gonna stick around for the whole video. However, I think this is a very complete message from Spirit for us, and this card that comes out here will be like a cherry on top, or sprinkles, whatever you enjoy on your ice cream. And we have two that came out too. Yes. Okay, so these are postcards from Spirit. So when you listen, I want you to close your eyes, place your hand on your heart if you feel so moved, and listen to these messages as though they being shared directly to you, because they are. Dear you, what is true for you? Can you be impeccable with your word? Sure, you can, as long as it's not used to manipulate others. The truth can set everyone free. Let go of the results. Let go of your fears and allow the truth to empower you and others. This will set into motion a kind of change that will be supportive of you and loving and all kinds of prosperous. This is not a time to compromise and hide your truth from others. Whatever it is you want, go for it and be clear in your motives, especially with yourself. You will be so happy you did. This is a time where you will tap into the power to co create and manifest your best life. Doesn't that feel amazing? And the results? Miraculous. When you tell the truth and ask the same of others, you can learn a lot from life's bountiful lessons and achieve your dreams. Love you always. And the next and last message is, Dear you, now is one of those times you're being asked to add some distance. Take a step back and do nothing but observe. Don't worry about how long it will take to regroup. Just know it's temporary and actually an opportunity to take a breath. Slow down and look at how far you've come. Decisions that taste good are made when you have clarity, which comes from being open to information from both the intellect and the intuition. When you step into the role of observer, it's as if you turn on a switch that allows your soul to be an essential part of the information gathering and decision making process. In this way, you can approach things from a more neutral and non-judgmental place. We know you'll make the right choice. Trust us when we say now is not the time to get too close to the fray. Step back now. You will be glad you did. Love you. Man, all praise be to the Most High. Those messages were so on time, and it a perfect conclusion to the message, especially with the observe, the step back. It goes hand in hand with honor the endings, the twirl, the embrace enthusiasm. Everything is so perfectly interwoven. And normally I celebrate off of camera and I share my excitement like with my spirit team about how everything flows. However, I'm excited. I'm excited for the time we're in. I'm excited for you, for your new beginnings, for the completion of cycles, for your life taking a drastic change, all for the better, and for you to be able to tap into the unseen realm that supports us every day, that wants to support us every day. So hopefully, willfully, I trust in the divine that you received exactly what you needed at this time to aid and support you on your journey. I look forward to reading your comments and your feedback. And again, if you need any support, check out the description. The email is there for you to be able to send in an email with any requests, and I can share with you more detail what services and tools I offer. Until the next time, I encourage you right? I encourage you, if you don't do anything else, to do what resonates to you, to shine your light, okay? Because the world needs it. It is our time. It is our time. It is our time. Um, so yes, I greet you and love, light, and peace. Until the next time.